What if you could retire years or even decades earlier than you ever thought possible? Thousands of people are doing it, and they've learned powerful lessons about money, mindset, and what really matters. Today, I'm sharing what successful early retirees wish they knew sooner and what you can start applying to your life right now. Welcome to Retirement Unscripted, the show that helps you make simple, smart moves with your money so you can retire on your terms. In this episode, we're unpacking lessons from early, successful retirees with real world takeaways from people who broke away from a 9 to 5 years before traditional retirement age. If you're new to this page, take this time to like and subscribe so you can get notified when new episodes come out. If you ever wondered what it takes to retire early and stay happy doing it, this one's for you. Let's jump right in. First point is going to be start with a clear financial plan. Okay. Early retirees often begin with a well-defined plan of how much they need, when to retire, and where to invest. These three things are going to be of the most important, right? Understanding how much you need to retire, when to retire, and where to invest. Now, many of these retirees weren't coming up with these things on their own. When they were doing this, they probably had the help of a financial advisor. They also tracked their expenses closely and made realistic projections for future costs, inflation, and healthcare. We have to really grab a hold of that and understand that inflation is going to happen. We've seen this over the last 5 years. We know healthcare costs are always going to rise. We have to make realistic projections about what we think is going to happen. This leads to early success in early retirement. Point number 2, prioritize saving aggressively. Many of these people saved 30 to 50% of their income in the peak earning years, maximizing retirement accounts like their 401ks, IRAs, and taxable investment accounts. Understand this. In your earning years, people typically earn more money from the ages of 50 to 60 than they do from before that. So let's say you get into the working force about 25, from 25 to 50, you make less money than you do in those last 10 years, that 50 to 60 range. So these are the years when you have to be making sure that you're maximizing your savings on those, right? The other thing that they did was they focused on living below their means and they avoided lifestyle inflation even as their incomes grew. Now understand this. You're working your timeline at work, your income is going to grow. You're going to make more money. But as you make more money, stay conscious and don't let lifestyle inflation creep in there. Because what happens is as we make more money, we tend to spend more. But if you can make that adjustment and live below your means, I promise you that early retirement that you're seeking will be there. Number 3 was diversifying streams of income. So here, successful early retirees often had multiple sources of income: rental properties, dividend paying stocks, side businesses, or even part-time consulting. Understanding this, right? The other thing that we're not talking about is Social Security. That's a source of income. Pensions, those are sources of income. And understanding how those things work. Diversification gives you the flexibility to protect against market and economic shifts. Case in point, let's say you have a pension, right? We have our pension. We're going to start, we're starting taking our pension at 65. So we start taking our pension. We have some other retirement vehicles that we haven't started taking yet, Social Security being one of them. Now, understanding that I'm going to start my pension at 65, that's not going to impact my Social Security because it's not my full retirement age. And then turning around and saying, okay, at 67, this is what my income is going to look like. And then there's another pension that I'm going to take at the same time as that 67 because before then, my spouse is still going to be working. Now, understanding things like this is a very realistic situation where someone's going to have, a pension, Social Security, possibly retirement plan, and a spouse that's still working. So all of those things need to be coordinated so that you can understand how this is going to impact you in your early retirement. So understanding your income streams, and we do have a show about that. So we'll put a link to that for you there. Controlling expenses, not just your income. So understand this. A lot of times people they learn to separate, like you have to learn to separate your needs from your wants. So a lot of times you'll see people when they get ready to retire, they'll downsize their homes or they'll relocate to a lower cost area, and just overall simplification of living style, like lifestyle, so they can stretch their money. And it's not about being cheap, because a lot of times people hear stuff like that, and the automatic thought is, well, that's just being cheap. It's not about being cheap. It's really about being aligned, like having your spending aligned with what truly matters to you. And I think that as as you're in your 70s and as you go on into your 80s, I think what truly matters changes. So that leads us to our last point. And I think this one is really one that you want to like lock in on. Number 5, focus on purpose and well-being. Early retirees emphasize that retirement isn't just about money. I'll say it again. Retirement isn't just about money. It's about having meaningful goals, hobbies, social connections, and good health. Like understanding, like staying engaged and active, mentally sharp. These are key things to not just enjoying your retirement, but like you thriving in your retirement. And so one of the things that I always think about when we talk about it's just focus on purpose and well-being. As you've gotten older and life is, you can see the end of life. I think we have to really emphasize and focus on the connections, the relationship, and the legacy that we. And I think that legacy piece is such a big piece, right? When we're talking about retirement and we say that it's not about the money, it's going to be about those connections. It's going to be about those memories. It's about being actively engaged and mentally sharp. And the only way those things are going to happen is if you start with the first one, right? And so today's quick recap of what we talked about is start with a clear financial plan. I think that's going to be of the utmost importance for you to have a clear understanding of what you want and how you're going to get there, right? It's a roadmap. The financial plan is your roadmap for the next, you know, 20, 30, or even 40 years of your retirement. So make sure you have one, start there. Prioritize saving aggressively. If you understand that you're going to stop working at one point, then you need to make sure that you have enough money saved away to do that. Okay. So aggressively save. Diversify your income streams. And I say not only diversify them, but understand them. Understand the timing of when these things are going to happen and how it's going to impact you, not only on your income, but also for your taxes. Fourth, control your expenses, not just your income. Understand this, like going to get that new big house in retirement. I haven't seen a lot of people do that, right? Sometimes you do, sometimes most of the time you don't. But either you're downsizing in retirement, or you're really monitoring your expenses, or you've paid off most of the debts that you have. So you can control those expenses. And you might not be able to control your income as much because it may be fixed. But understand that, get a hand on those expenses. And the last one, focus on your purpose and well-being. Okay. Understand that there's so much more purpose to your life at this point, and well-being just makes that life last even longer. So lock in on those things. If today's episode helps you and you're looking for some help in your own personal situation with your finances, reach out to us at gennextwealth.com. You can schedule some time with us there, answer, go through a few things, and we'd love to help you navigate this journey of your retirement. Until next time, my name's Emlen. We'll see you on the next episode.